It is 6:41 and we will get going. So first order of business to review and make any changes to the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
I don't have anything.
I don't. All right, moving right along. We're gonna make up time. We are going to review and approve the minutes of the May 6th meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the May 6th meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Suzanne made the motion to approve the minutes of the May 6th meeting.
I'll second it.
Leanne seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'll abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay. Got that, Leanne?
Yep.
Okay. We will roll right into Public Works if that's okay. So Mark, if you want to share some updates with us about what is happening,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Last week we did some ditching, we finished up some ditching on Black Falls, and then we worked on Hill West to get some ditching done, and we replaced, I think, a couple culverts that were failed on the road. I think that's gonna continue next week. The excavator will be back. And we're gonna do a few around the corner and some more ditching going back down West Hillside. There's a couple other spots before we get to the top of Hill West. There's a couple more ditches we're gonna clean out up there. And then now Dave's out grading. There was a problem with the grader. It's been using a lot of antifreeze, so I think we still can use it, but I think Kat's gonna be coming out tomorrow or next day to check it out. I mean, about 8 hours we go through a gallon of antifreeze, so it's not going into the oil, so so we're not quite sure. So they were gonna call Kat today and see if they still should be using it or not, so. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that, so hopefully we can keep grading. So that's the plan, is to get everything graded again and then grade again and then start putting chloride on. But everything needs to be graded at least another two or three more times, so before we can start putting chloride and stuff on. But we may have to start using chloride, because I noticed today when he graded Hill West, it's pretty dusty now, so.
It's supposed to just get hotter this week.
We may have to just start following with the chloride.
In lieu of grading an additional time.
Well, we may just grade them a few times, yeah, and then get the rake out and then rake them and then put chloride on. And put some more gravel in spots where it's needed. So that's what the plans are right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully there's nothing too major with the grader, so we can keep rolling.
And you said they're coming.
Either tomorrow or the next day, yeah, so.
Probably me, but I
That's fine.
can't hear.
Oh, okay,
I don't know if the mic's still working or turned up. Or...
yeah, I'll try to talk a little bit louder, yeah.
So I had a question. If that grader goes down, do you guys have an option to rent one or to get a replacement from Cat?
We've used St. Ange's before,
St. Ange's,
so we might be
that's-
able to rent St. Ange's grader, hopefully, so we'll see. We'll know in a day or two. But I think he was still out using it this afternoon, so I think we still can use it, just, sparingly. Till we just wanna make sure we aren't gonna break something worse, by still using it, so, yeah.
Mark, what was that word you used? Did you say chloride?
Yeah,
Like
On our
chloride?
on our final grade, it's liquid chloride. On our final grade, we go through and rake the roads, and then we put the chloride on, so it helps hold the road together and keeps the dust down.
Okay.
So that's, and it helps, when the dust is flying, that's your material leaving the road, so.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
what do you
Berta.
mean final grade?
Well, usually we grade at least 3 or 4 times, put gravel down, and then the final grade is
That means you're done grading for the summer?
No, we'd still grade if there's potholes and stuff, but we just grade, so it keeps the dust down, and it holds the hills, the chloride and everything, so. But no, it's not the final grade. We still would grade
'Cause I
throughout
know
the summer.
If it rains, because there's no crown, all that gravel that was just fixed is gonna be washing down the road.
Yeah.
back into the ditches again.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, it's, the final grade is when you crown it, you know, when we get the crowns and everything on. And he's been trying to make some water bars, so we keep the water from washing it out. I know it's not up to your standards, but we're trying to do the best we can.
Well,
I mean,
I would like to
I'm
have it
sorry.
sprayed so that the ditches are still full. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
spots that have been worked on, but there's still a lot of trees in the ditches.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be working on trying to get that out, you
And
know.
at the top of where it's paved, there's just, there's no place for the water to go. It just kind of sits in the road and everything just runs down the road.
Yeah, so, you know, try to get the crown on and stuff. I know he graded today, that hill, so.
So he's making
Yeah.
his rounds and then he'll be back to Crown Roads and hopefully at that point get the chloride on.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, if it keeps staying dry, we may have to put chloride on, you know.
First.
Before, because if we go through and grade and then it's real dusty, we need to put the chloride so people aren't driving in the dust.
Okay.
But I think it's supposed to rain again tomorrow afternoon, so that'll help settle things down.
If there aren't any other updates, we'll move on to item B, so the future strategic planning. I know that y'all sat down and had a meeting, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Last time I think you all were here,
Yeah.
so there are some notes here. But Mark, if you wanna start off with an update and then I can fill in other thoughts as they come.
Yeah, so
Or if you want me to start and then you can fill in the gaps, what would you prefer?
we kind of sat down with Charlie and Scott and Dave, and we kind of went over, you know, what our plans were for the summer, the ditching and where we're going to be ditching, and then, you know, try to get some future plans. I just got a message from Bethany. We've got to find a location for the FY25 Better Back Roads grant for ditching and that works. So she's going to be coming out so we can meet with her to find another location to do the FY25 grants and see if there's any other grants available to help us with ditching and other work. So that's, Charlie's wrote everything down, so I think he's got a list of what we went over. So he was supposed to type that up and have that for us.
Yep, and so it sounds like he will be getting that draft out.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
some review and some comments,
And then-
hopefully this week. And then the idea is that that strategic plan will be posted so that people
Yeah.
are aware of what is coming and hopefully like the order in which it's going to happen, you know,
and then the other thing.
barring emergencies.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is, this spring, we would give Liz like an update every week or other week, and she'd put it on the website of where we're working and what we're doing, and I'm thinking of doing that again, you know, give her like an update on a Friday on what we're gonna be doing the next week or you know, maybe, I don't know if it'll be every week, but maybe every other week. So it gives people an idea of where we're gonna be ditching and where we're gonna be working, so when they're out and about, they'll know, you know, where we are.
Is all the ditching
So-
hired out?
Yeah. Well, we haul the material, but we have the excavator hired out.
And does the town crew clean out the ditches like the fallen trees, or do we hire that out too?
No, we will be doing that. Yeah, we'll go around. I mean, we can do that with the loader, so, yeah.
And that's part of this future strategic plan?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, that's part of regular maintenance too, is doing that. Yeah,
And summer hours have started,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
that started like a while back,
Oh, just like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, beginning of May.
So like, it used to be way past that, it would start after all the spring cleanup was done, so that if there was overtime, you could still work the overtime, but if you're working 10-hour days, say from, 6 to 4 they're working?
Yeah,
So they could work a couple of hours after, but if they're taking Fridays off, it doesn't leave a lot of time, and I was wondering if there's gonna be enough time to get all the work done that could be done, because I know in the past, they didn't always do that.
yeah. I mean, the reason the 10-hour days is like when you get the equipment out there, you're working the 10-hour days, so you know, it takes a little while to get all the equipment out to the sites a lot of times, so then you've got the 10-hour day, so you get more done in a day. So that was the reasoning for the 10-hour you know, every other town does the 4 days a week, in the summertime.
Yeah, I know, but it's not summer.
Well,
I do know
Pretty
that
close.
last
I mean,
spring,
I know we always start at the beginning of May, and every other town does this time of year.
when you had rented the excavator, that they were working 4 10s, but they also were coming in half days on Fridays.
Yeah,
In order to,
Well-
and part of that I think was because of the weather. We had such rain last year at the start of when that excavator arrived
it's like-
that they were trying to like make up for lost time. So you don't think that the crew is like opposed to that if it has to happen?
well, no, Dave came in Friday morning and worked half a day
Right.
on the grader, with a grader, and then, the week before, I think he did too, so, I mean, if it needs to be done, they will work the overtime to do it. Especially with the weather, you know, working around the weather. Then we went over the comments that you made, that you sent us too, so we're trying to get like a schedule together of the comments you made and things we need to do, so. I appreciate that, you know.
What about a, place where people can post if there's like a sinkhole in the road? Cause I know driving up West Hill, I noticed there was a couple of small ones, like to
Yeah.
report issues, like a tree down or a sinkhole in the road.
Is there-
It's not there for quite a while.
Is there a place on the website to do that, or?
So there are the email addresses,
Yeah.
but we had talked about when this strategic plan is sort of posted alongside that to put the direct email or a button that would be the email to
Right.
the public works so that they're aware of issues like that, and it would just be like a hot link right there.
Or if you send it to my Public Works email, then I'll get it and I can pass it on to the road crew too. Yeah, no, that would be helpful too.
Okay. So we can make sure that that's part of that planning because that makes sense.
Yeah,
And that's just much more accessible for everybody if it's right there, rather than having to look through things.
yeah.
So you think there'd be a plan on what's gonna be done on the roads sooner rather than later?
Yeah,
It sounds like Charlie's working on an initial draft of that.
yeah,
To
Yeah.
review and get some feedback on, and then I would
say by the
hope
next
by the
meeting,
next meeting
we should
it'll
have
be
that.
out.
And then we'll post it on the website so people can see it and make comments and, yeah, so. We're working on it.
Okay, if there isn't anything else there, we can move on to, this is the annual generator maintenance agreement, if you wanna look that over.
Okay. I think this program one, just once a year for them to come and check those generators, I think is fine. I mean, we don't use them that much, but, I think once a year, I mean, we check them out. We run them every, couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, you have a
And
scheduled meet.
So we have a schedule where we run them. So I think program one, complete annual major service, parts, labor, and mileage included. Then if we do have an issue with one, we call them.
And that's what we've done for the past few years, is that right?
Yeah, I think we were doing the 2 visits a year, and I don't think we really need 2 visits a year on them. Because we don't put that many hours on them, so I think. And then we have a schedule where we start them, and the one at the water plant starts every week anyways, and then the portable one, we try to pull it out at least every couple of weeks, just to make sure it's ready to go. So I would make a motion, Brookfield Service. Is this the one we've been using? No, I don't think we've been using Brookfield. I think we've been using CAT to service them. I think we were using Brookfield, but we went to CAT. I'll have to double check.
Do you wanna table that until
Yeah.
next meeting? Okay.
Yeah, I wanna make sure.
So let's table this.
It's not due till June 14th, so
Okay.
we'll check into it. And I'm pretty sure we weren't happy with them, and we went with Caterpillar. Yeah, we'll check it.
So you'll find out
Yeah.
if we want to use them or if we have someone else that we.
Well, I'll ask Aaron, but I'm pretty sure we use Caterpillar.
Okay.
Yeah.
This doesn't ring a bell.
It rings a bell. We were using them, but then we went to Caterpillar. They gave us, I think, a better deal, and we're doing a better job of it. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, I know we switched.
Okay. So we'll pick that back up at the next meeting.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is looking at an update on the fire hydrants that we were talking about. There are
Yeah, we have 4.
either 2 or
5.
3.
I
that
think
need
we have 4.
replacing.
I think we have 4 to replace.
Okay.
I've already talked to the contractor that comes in and helps us replace them. And what I want to do is do them when school's out of session, because sometimes we have to shut the water down.
Okay.
So I don't want to do it while school's in session. So
That makes
I've got him scheduled to come in July and beginning of August to get them done.
Okay. So it's scheduled.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. So we get those done.
Did we receive compensation from that
There's-
insurance company?
They're
for
supposed to be sending it
Okay.
for that hydrant that was hit by the rec center.
Okay.
So I'll follow up with it.
You want to follow up with Aaron with that? Is that
Well, no, I was the one handling it. They were
Okay.
sending everything to me, so I'll send them a message to see what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the message board?
They didn't want to pay for the replacement of the whole hydrant, and I told them, I said, the whole hydrant has to be replaced because the one that was there was cracked, so. And they just wanted to pay for just replacement and just for repairing it, and I said it couldn't be repaired because it was cracked right down the side of the hydrant.
from the one that was hit at the rec center?
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
What do you do with the old hydrants? The broken ones?
I've got it at the water plant, and
My
Yeah.
son is interested in getting one, if it's possible.
yeah, I mean, I think we could, yeah.
It's a project.
I take whatever parts I can get off them.
But then
Yeah.
at some point they become scrap.
But the issue with the ones up in the center, they were put in, early 70s, and now we can't even get parts for them.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why we're replacing the whole hydrants when they're broken. Because that hydrant, we can't get the parts. So once I try to get as much repair parts I can
Sure.
off them, so.
But if he wanted one, I could have him come talk to you.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, just have him come talk to me. Yeah. Hey, maybe if he wants a hydrant, then maybe he can paint some other ones for us. We'll make a deal for him.
He's turning into
Yes.
something else entirely.
Oh, is that right?
Using them to build a
I got the
forge.
Boy Scouts one year to do it.
Metal. Precious metal right now.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
He was just gonna go take it, and I said, no, don't just take it.
No, somebody tried to take it. Sandy Alexander was driving by in this car from Quebec or Canada.
It wasn't him.
Was trying to put it in their car.
Yeah.
And she stopped him, and I said, hey, that's not, and I went down and we pulled it out of there. Yes. It's like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Thanks.
yeah,
So that's scheduled, and you will follow up with that insurance company about the payment.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Great.
yeah.
It is 7:00 on the button, but we are gonna get this last item under Public Works done, which is just an update, Mark, from you with regard to the Reagan Road Power Project.
I met with the electric company today, so they're gonna give me the easements from Teresa Begnosh so we can go up through her pasture with the poles to get to the reservoir, the Reagan Road Reservoir. So then, once I get those easements signed, then they can start the process. So I met with them today, and so everything, hopefully, have the easements in hand in a couple days, and then we can get that signed and get that project going.
And they'll get going on it
Yeah,
ASAP.
yeah, they'll have to put the poles in before we can do anything. So
Okay.
I'm hoping, because the batteries it's not working very well up there, so hopefully we get that in fairly soon. I have to run it manually right now, so. And I didn't want to spend the money on new batteries when we knew we were doing this project, so. It's not that big a deal, yeah.
So we will move into visitors. Tasca, you were here first. Do you have anything for visitors?
I'm on the town hall, so it's pretty much next on the agenda, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds great. Were you next in?
Oh, I was, the
You were
only thing
Merle.
I haven't covered was just the berm at the end of our road, if they're gonna take that down. 'cause
Yeah,
there's
that's-
really no purpose.
Yeah, that's part of cleaning out, is, like, 'cause that's gonna be done.
It's a mess and there's no water there for
Yeah,
just a pile of dirt.
yeah, no, that's on that's why that stake is at the end, because it was dig safe.
Yeah.
So that's their next spot they're going, is to clean that up. Yeah.
Awesome. Merle, anything for visitors tonight?
Yeah. The church has been thinking about having putting our Sunday worship service on Zoom. And during the discussion, it came up to see how the town goes about having this on Zoom. And I think I asked once before, I guess, is this a yearly contract or how's it work?
So I don't know all of the details of what the town has, but you typically with Zoom, it is an annual contract.
It's usually, I think it's like $150.
Yeah, it's not super expensive, but there are free options as well. Google has on their platform, it's called Google Meet. It's free and it doesn't shut you off. So there is a free version of Zoom, but you can only use it for 30 minutes and then it shuts you off. But Google is unlimited. You can be on Google Meet for hours on end and it won't shut you off.
You can record it too.
You can record it and you can schedule them in a calendar. If you use the Google platform for the church, you can schedule them into a calendar that you can share with your parishioners and then they can just click on that and it brings them right to that meeting.
Okay, what is that,
Google Meet.
Google Meets, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I can email it to you or, oh,
Well, I can
you're
go-
getting it written down right now.
Yeah, I can Google.
You
Meets.
can Google Meets. Yes, you can.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah,
If
thanks.
you need help, I
Yeah.
can help you.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be the host to open it, you
Yeah.
can just share
Thank you.
Oh,
Right.
that'd be
Another
perfect.
thing,
so much.
my appointment on the development review board alternate wasn't up this year, but yet I see I was appointed.
Oh,
If you recall, I was taken off the board, appointed as an alternate the same night that you appointed Joe to the board. So my term was up that year. So my terms don't expire on the DRB alternate until next year.
oh,
That needs to be corrected.
okay. Okay.
We will look at that and go back
Yeah.
and correct that.
Yeah.
It needs to be corrected, yeah.
DRB.
And you said your term expires 2025?
My what?
You're saying your term expires,
Next year.
Yeah,
The same as Joe.
okay,
If you recall,
Joe.
the same night you appointed him to the board, you appointed me as an alternate. My term was up.
As a regular
That
member.
time, Mark nominated me for the board, but you guys instead put somebody on the board, Joe, and then put me as an alternate.
Joe.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll look into it, Merle.
Yeah, well, my term,
Yeah.
I don't get it correct, my term.
Yeah,
is
but
till next year.
You're still, yeah, okay, but you're still on as an alternate.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm curious about the town office, did the board get an estimate on what it would cost to remove the mold?
We might have sometime along, I don't know, Charlie would know more about that.
I just wondered, was there any effort to save the building, or was it just right from the get rid of it for parking spaces?
No, I think we have looked into, saving it, I think we have, yeah.
Would anything other than the
I mean-
mold have to be done?
Oh, yeah, yeah, there's quite a bit.
Huh?
There's quite a bit more than just the mold that need to be done to that building.
I don't know what it
Yeah.
would be, it was in pretty good shape.
No,
The
it
roof
isn't.
is good, everything's good.
Yeah, we put a new roof on it. Yeah.
Well, the reason is, it wasn't brought up, it seemed like to remove that mold would cost a fraction of what's gonna cost to remove the building. But it probably wouldn't cost 40,000, if that, to remove the mold. And if you could get a commitment from the postal service to come back to the center, and they want more space, rent them the conference room, that would almost double their space.
I don't see that happening. You can't even get postal service to get a post office in Montpelier after the flood. So how are they gonna put two back in Montgomery when they can't even get one in Montpelier? That's a lot more people than here.
Have you talked to the postal workers?
Charlie has been, he's been in contact with them. I mean,
It's
so,
pretty tight.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
really tight.
They wanna come back in the worst way, and they see no reason that the service wouldn't go back to the center if the building was available.
It's not up
Yeah.
to the postal
I mean, we
workers
haven't even
though.
looked into
No.
it. That's the trouble.
Oh, yeah, Charlie's been in contact with the postal service for
And he-
quite a while, but he
6
doesn't get
years.
any, he doesn't get any responses, and so, yeah.
The last I heard, they hadn't got back,
No, they haven't got back to us, so.
but if you pursued that, my gosh.
Last we heard, they did get back to him and they said they were willing to consider coming back to the center, but not to that building, and they would look at alternative spaces.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the whole conference room or the whole former town offices, they just want an extra like 12 square feet
Yeah, they wanted
And in order to-
11% more
space.
space than what they currently have.
And according to our conversations in the past, it's not just about remediating the mold. The entire building would have to be gutted all the way from the basement into the attic, and the basement would have to be filled with concrete because the mold in the basement and the moisture down there is so extreme that despite efforts in the past to remove the mold, it just perpetuates every time. So that was sort of, I mean, it's been 6 years, 7 years working on this building and trying to figure out what to do with it. And I think Charlie and all of us have tried to make significant efforts, and according to your motion that you brought to the town meeting, everybody's in consensus that at this point in time, the best step forward is to turn it into available parking in the center, which is something that is very necessary for our community. It's not like we're just tossing up a white flag and throwing it to the dogs. Like, we've made a lot of strides and efforts to make the right decision about that property.
Yeah,
We were talking about it when I was on the select board. It's been 20
Yeah.
plus years
Yeah.
of discussion
Right.
with the mold in the basement.
And with regard to, I do recall them saying that the basement would have to be filled, which means that all of the utilities would have to be pulled out of there and moved elsewhere, and
Yeah.
that would be a significant amount of reconstruction within that building in order to make that happen.
If they
Lost a
remove
lot
the
of town
mold,
records.
nothing would have to be taken out.
Well,
But it's water under the bridge, ain't gonna happen, too bad.
yeah.
So I think, they could have had back here, and
But I mean, the point is, we have looked into it, Merle. It's not like we just said, okay, we're just gonna tear it down. We've been looking into it for years
yeah.
when Tosca was on the board,
Well,
you
it
know.
destroyed,
It's
that
been-
basement destroyed town records. There was
Right.
moldy piles of maps and records and things in that basement that it was, I
Yeah,
mean, we had to throw away a lot of stuff that was just covered with black mold. And then they had the kids down there, and it just,
yeah,
it's just, it's not a good situation.
yeah.
the last thing is still about them old curbs. What is the advantage? Why do you want the curbs, really?
I think it was for safety, and I mean, I guess that's what, you know,
It's really being honest and truthful, Mark, honest and truthful.
no, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was for the safety of people trying to drive up on the sidewalks. I mean,
They're not gonna make anything safer. How are they gonna make anything safer? I know I heard the argument that the way it is right now, with the cars parked, you have to have a little bit of caution coming down through the center. Because these cars are parked there, they may open the doors and like,
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about it, and I agree with them, that anything that tends to slow traffic down. You put curbs, you've got a wide open slot right through the center, if anything, it's gonna speed up. And there hasn't been a problem with safety anyway. So being truthful and honest, Mark, that's not a
Well-
valid reason.
Well, the other thing too is when we were gonna have to plow the sidewalks, so if there's a bunch of cars parked on the sidewalks, how are we gonna plow the sidewalks? I mean, that's gonna be part of
It has
that's part of
worked.
the,
It's worked for over 100 years, hasn't it, Mark?
well, we haven't plowed the sidewalks in 100 years. I mean,
We haven't
so,
had sidewalks for
And-
100 years.
It's pretty bad when you're walking and you can't
Yeah.
get on the sidewalks, but
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna prevent cars from driving over the curb unless somebody's out there
Yeah.
giving tickets or something.
No,
Yeah.
curbs provide no safety for pedestrians. In
Well,
fact,
think about-
The wheelchairs and strollers you can read about, but in fact, a wheelchair, if people can't park in front of a house to pick up somebody in a wheelchair, that's a negative. I mean, that's gonna make it difficult for them. For now, they can park right in front of the house, wheelchair come out,
yeah,
get right in the vehicle. So that's an argument against the curbs. I can't find, in honesty and truthfulness, one valid argument in favor of those curbs. Whereas there is arguments, factual arguments against those curbs.
mhm.
Really. And where are people going to park for town meetings and so forth? You have those few parking spaces at the town office, that's not gonna
Well, that's,
solve the problem.
It's almost
That's gonna
20
create-
parking
You're gonna
spaces.
create a huge problem for
It's
parking.
28.
28, yeah.
yeah,
Is that not true?
Prevent any parking on Main Street, basically.
Well, when
Is
you
that
go
not
to
true?
when you drive to Enosburg, do you drive up onto the curb to park your car?
Where you gonna park?
Streets a lot wider.
yeah,
Yeah, they got the.
It's
Yeah.
a problem. You're gonna create
Yeah.
a problem. You know you are.
Well,
For curbs.
I mean, I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. I mean, this board's already.
So the conceptual design for the streetscape project is up on the website. So if you haven't reviewed it, maybe you want to take a look at that, and then you could email with any like more feedback about it. But I think at this point we're just kind of spinning our wheels. We're not really getting anywhere in this conversation. There is still time for feedback. So if you wanted to take a look at that design that's up on the website and then email the board, I mean, that might be a way to further voice your opinion about the curbs.
I know, and also, I know with beyond a shadow of a doubt, the vast majority of people in town are adamantly opposed to curbs. Town meeting, I think we were so shocked when somebody voted yes for that, hardly ever said no, didn't even hardly say no, but should have had a ballot vote for that, and got an honest vote. And we'd really like to know what people thought about that work town meeting. I know when I did the petition, I got over 50 names on it, and some of the people didn't even know it, but every one of them, they were just aghast. They can't believe it. And I know a lot of people out of town, they say, hey, Merle, how's things going to Montgomery? And I mentioned road tide curbs. What? I can't imagine curbs in Montgomery. It's just not, this town isn't designed for it. It wasn't laid out that way.
I'm curious,
But anyway,
the Department of Transportation weighed in on the curbs as far as snow
They-
removal?
yeah, they were.
And
they
they're
were-
okay with that?
They were okay
They
with
deal
it.
with them?
Yeah, I mean.
We're
so
waiting
this-
for final feedback from
So
V-Trans.
when they
Yeah.
scrape along those curbs and wreck them, which inevitably, I mean,
They may.
I'm curious how much maintenance they're gonna commit. I mean, it's their
Yeah.
highway, right?
Yep.
So essentially, the state of Vermont is responsible for the curbs, right? Or
yeah.
no?
So they're looking over the conceptual designs now.
Yeah,
That have
Yeah.
been given to us by the engineers, and they have opportunity to come back with any final notes or concerns and share those.
So that was, I mean,
so they might,
we talked about.
And that might be something that they say, and it might
Yeah.
be something that we need to.
At on the state that shut down any modification of the intersection because of
Right.
snow.
yeah,
And it was about putting in curbs in there to like and the effect it would have on the business, like specifically the snowshoe.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have just dumped snow
That-
right into the exit and entrance of the space.
well, that's why we're only going to the
So the state
Grange.
still hasn't weighed in on this.
So they have given some preliminary
Yeah.
thumbs up approval. We're waiting for that final stamp of approval
Yeah.
from them on, but everything has been submitted to them through their formalized process.
Right.
It got submitted, they came back to us with
Problem.
feedback
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah,
Twice they've come back to us with feedback, and then it's,
I'll go look at the, I haven't, I'll be honest, I haven't looked, but if there's gonna be, if the curbs are gonna eliminate all parking on Main Street.
there's
on the
bump
road,
outs for parking.
Yeah.
There's gotta
Yep.
be
there's
some
still,
parking,
there's
so.
still
Yeah.
some bump outs, yeah, for parking,
And the whole section along the Phineas and the
Yeah.
Inn is still,
Yeah.
yeah,
you can still park in front of those
Again,
businesses.
being truthful,
They
honest.
have their bump
Yeah.
out that's been there
Yep.
for a while
Yep.
anyway, and a sidewalk if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, that's still gonna be there, yeah,
So you're just gonna kinda emulate what's
yeah,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
It's mostly the
Yeah.
north side that will
Yeah.
change.
yeah.
Okay. And
And the cost, to spend tens of thousands of dollars on something that's not gonna benefit us, have to ask, does that make sense?
Yeah,
And really, in truthfulness, you haven't really come up with a valid reason. You know, safety, you say, well,
That's where it goes.
yeah.
okay.
Okay, Merle.
thanks, Merle.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
You see Merle.
Aaron, something for visitors?
Yeah, so I'd like to hear you all discuss, ways we can have a larger discourse on the, effects and damages that sap trucks are causing on our roads, our dirt roads. And I wrote y'all a letter maybe a month or two ago,
I think we're
And I-
planning,
and-
yeah,
At
and I
the,
just finished, and I looked at the minutes of the last two meetings and there's been talk about it, but I just wanna be here to,
so at the last meeting, Charlie was working on pulling together a list, and he was like cross-referencing the list between what he knows for sugar makers in town with what I wanna say the
Yeah.
Agency of Agriculture has on file.
Okay.
Sending out letters with a notice that we're going to have a solutions-oriented meeting in order to discuss the,
to the sugar makers?
Yeah.
to all of the
Would
sugar
that
makers.
violate the public meeting?
And
Because you're just telling it to them? and not
Nope,
the rest of
it's
us?
going,
No,
so
no,
it'll
it'll be
be
public
as
meeting.
a public meeting, but
Okay.
he's inviting all of them in, with a letter in order to let them know that we're having this discussion. Because a lot of, so what he was saying at the last meeting is that quite a few of the owner operators of these businesses live outside of town, and so maybe aren't necessarily checking in on our agendas and what's coming down the pike. So he was getting letters out and he was working on all of that at our last meeting with hopes to schedule something at the beginning to middle of June. And it'll be warned as a public meeting,
Yeah.
I think, at a regular select board meeting.
Okay.
But we can follow up with a date as soon as we have it.
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
talking about the pollen right now, right? Like, and the roads are still,
yeah,
I don't know, I'm hoping we can not forget,
yeah, no,
Not forgetting.
no,
because I haven't.
yeah.
Thank you.
Noted, yeah. We will let you know. Okay. Moving on to old business, so municipal wastewater update, there isn't any significant update at this point in time. We'll come back to this at the next meeting.
I did meet with, I think they've gotta do 92 borings around the center.
Yep,
And I met with
Oh,
the
right.
boring company and the engineers today. They started up at the site for 3 borings up there. There was some cross connections, so the boring company wasn't planning on being here all week, so I'm not sure when they're gonna continue doing the borings. The issue I have with that is they said if they do hit a water line, we're responsible for fixing it, so I wanna find out that, you know, what I'm doing is every site, try to make, they have the plans of the water system too, so I've made them move a couple of the sites just to stay away from the water, water system, so I'm, knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens, so. So I told them every morning before they start to drill, I wanna know exactly where their spots are, and I'll meet with them when they do start drilling, so we don't hopefully have a problem. So.
Okay. I know that you had said that you were going to talk to them.
I already met with them and went around to every site they wanna mark, but
But they don't own the responsibility if they hit something?
that's what they said. Yeah, we have it in an email, so.
Does
It's-
Dixie come through?
Yeah, Dixie came through, yeah.
So everything's marked?
Yeah, but my issue is people, they put them on people's lawns, they move the marking. So I wanna make sure the marking's where it's supposed to be before they drill, cause they could move that marking onto a curb
Well,
stop or something,
And there
so.
was significant changes
Yeah.
that were made because Dan Scott screwed up so bad, so some of the pipes aren't
Yeah.
necessarily where they were on the original plans.
Well, that's in the village.
Okay, this is the center.
It's
Okay.
just the center.
Well, good, I'm glad we're
The
not
center-
separate
center
from
plan-
village, 'cause
The center plans are
They're,
more
they're
accurate.
pretty solid.
Yeah, I was real nervous when they were gonna go in the village, because
I
that
don't
is
blame
true.
you, I would have done too.
Because I've already found, okay, this
Uh-huh.
line's supposed to be here and it's
Oh,
not
it's
there.
not.
And,
Nope.
but the center, they're more accurate, but
Yeah.
we still,
Well, that's another reason. The village just.
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna work close with them to hopefully avoid any problems. But it just makes more time for me,
Yeah?
Yeah.
maybe, so,
Just get-
yeah,
Well, thank you for doing that.
yeah.
Next up is the streetscape project update, which I feel like we kind of already did, but we'll run through that real quick in case there's any more questions. So conceptual design is up on the website. Did anybody have any comments or notes on that?
Remove the side curbing.
It pretty well looks like what we've discussed
The last time.
ad nauseum.
Is the funding still there? I knew we didn't have quite enough funding at one
Yeah,
point.
so Charlie and
I know.
Bethany are working on an application to the Active Transportation Infrastructure Investment Program.
Say that
It's
real
a
quick.
mouthful. No, it's written down. To cover the balance of construction costs that's due at the beginning of June, so they're submitting that.
Okay.
What's it called?
You didn't get all that, Leanne? Charlie and Bethany are working on the Active Transportation Infrastructure Investment Program.
ATIIP.
Investment,
Infrastructure Investment Program.
infrastructure,
Maybe I missed that the first time, sorry.
investment program.
Yep. If we are to receive that grant, we'll have to work to figure out where our match dollars are coming from, but that's not a today problem because they have not submitted that
Okay,
yet.
so it'll be updated.
Yep.
Do we know what the balance amount is?
And this, they're submitting a grant to this
Yes. An application.
Okay.
grant
Yeah.
application.
I don't.
He doesn't have it written there. And it's normal notes.
And I don't have that on my computer.
No, that's fine.
Okay. New business. So town hall committee. So we are going to.
Final.
This
the
was the
final.
changed rental contract changes, proposed fee schedule.
Right, after.
You wanna share out what you've got going on?
Yeah, so after the last meeting, we went back and we're basically using the schedule that the town already has. We've amended it to remove, like it used to have public safety building stuff on it. It's just specific to the town hall. So there's no language in the contract, the cleaning list that refers to any other building except town hall. We kept our fees, the same. If you look at Appendix A, public event, open to all, no charge or revenue generated. She's, Joanne's done a good job of sort of just like saying, so those are all remaining the same with the exception of nonprofit or town group affiliated use, non-revenue generating use. We have changed that to refer only to town municipal groups. And she's listed them on in the new language, so it's the fire department, the elementary school, the recreation center, conservation committee, and the town itself has use of the building for free regardless. Doesn't matter what is going on, it's still first come, first served, exception of course, elections and things that are
Sure.
scheduled. Any side issues with food and trading, that it will be worked out separately between the town hall committee and like if a nonprofit shows up and says, hey, can we we'll ask for a donation. It's not gonna be required. If they wanna work something out with us and we do the food and make a little money for the town hall, that is just gonna be a completely different situation that's not required for anybody or written down. There's not gonna be any.
So that's not in the fee schedule.
Nope,
Right.
we removed it and,
Okay.
the rec
Yep.
center's gonna have us do the food, but it's gonna, they,
Separate.
they're gonna auction off a piece of art that'll go to the building, but it's separate and doesn't need to involve any language or contract. It's just gonna be we'll handle that and you're gonna chuck us some money for it, so. And then we've added the cleaning checklist. We've also added the $250 cleaning deposit. That, Joanne added some language to just delineate what you can, you can't use decorating protocols and stuff like that. We have left off for now any kitchen language because it's not ready to be rented to the general public until we get this in place. So we'll add that on at a later date.
And we can just amend this.
We can make it.
Yeah, we'll
amended.
amend that at some point, but your copy should have that all removed and everything is, the copy that Liz gave you guys is the final draft.
Okay.
We'd love to have it approved so that Joanne can actually get contracts signed with people because she is busy with that. People are lining up to rent the building and use the building.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
it is super good, but it's also, she wants
Yeah.
to be very clear that this is the way it is.
Yep.
And we were all in agreement. Brad had some issues with the cleaning deposit, because he feels like it's too expensive for people, but we also put in there that your check will not be cashed unless it's necessary.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah.
gonna write a paper check or, here's an envelope with $250, you'll get it back,
Yeah,
but he
Yeah.
says not everybody, but that's we're not requiring that cleaning deposit for people that use it regularly for workshops, unless the workshop is like making sandcastles.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna go in there and finger paint or,
Yeah.
the language I think is clear. I think we all felt pretty good about
Mm.
what the final language was, but. And we lowered the rates actually for nonprofits to 50.
Yep.
Even if it's, and 25 for the 4 hour, 12 hours or less. So we made those
Yeah.
prices a little bit less for nonprofits, which would include the Historical Society, any other local town. We don't and we don't care if you're local or out of town, whatever.
Yeah.
But Cold Hollow would fall under that.
Hmm.
So that's about where we're at with that.
Okay.
so I'll make a motion to adopt the town of Montgomery policy use on the town hall, the amended May 20th, 2024.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Leanne. All in favor?
We have a discussion if anybody's got any questions.
Further discussion, questions?
Okay.
And we'll vote.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, guys.
Opposed? No? Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. It's a lot of work to clean this up, but I do know that Liz appreciates that
Yes.
it's a standalone policy and it just keeps things much.
Yeah, it just
Thank-
keeps
It keeps
simple
things cleaner and separate, so
Tell everybody thanks for all the work they did to update.
We're getting there.
Yes. Yeah.
Kitchen's, you know, the kitchen is
okay, so
working good.
Yeah.
Basement is, you know, I think the more that you're down there using it, the more you keep it clean, then you keep on it, so.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the other thing, so thank you guys for doing that.
Sign this. We've just
Yeah, I think there was.
was there a page to actually sign
I
it?
thought there was. Right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody, yes.
Missed it on my flip through. You want to start that? Okay. Next up is the July 4th parade authorization. So from
Thank you, Tasha.
Yes,
Thank you
thank you.
guys very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thanks,
everything
Tosca.
you do. Oh my God.
So, I'm gonna put vice chair down with Emily's name.
Okay.
as you wish. So this is a letter to Kyle Carpenter of V-Trans District 8. A formal authorization from us, the select board, that we are planning a parade for July, or that there's a planned parade for July 4th. And that we need to sign off on this and get this submitted. If there's,
So,
So we're authorizing
look
the
at
4th
that.
of July parade. Is that what we're doing?
yeah,
yes, and
so I'll make a motion to authorize the 4th of July parade to be on Main Street. Take place on Main Street, Montgomery Center, Route 118 and 242.
is there a second?
On
I'll
July 4th.
I'll second.
Seconded by Suzanne. Any discussion? Further discussion?
Are we doing a select board float?
Only if you're gonna be on it.
I
Just
think they
you.
put,
No!
I think they put this for June 3rd. But we can approve it tonight.
I think we can approve
Yeah.
it tonight.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was on the agenda. So
Yes.
we can approve it.
Yep. Okay,
Okay.
so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? No. All right. We will get Charlie to sign this when he is back in the office and send that off.
So we can have the parade.
Then we'll have a parade. All right, next up, so Financial Controls Office appointment. Suzanne, you had been appointed to this and you resigned from that appointment.
Yes.
And we can open nominations to replace Suzanne as the Financial Controls Officer.
It's very official.
Yes.
I think that'd be a good job for Berta.
That's what it entails.
Yes.
Do you have a nomination?
I do. I nominate Beth Crane.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Are there any other nominations to be made?
No.
Okay, we'll close nominations. All in favor of Beth Crane serving as the new Financial Controls Officer? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Sold.
Yeah.
Beth Crane will be our new Financial Controls Officer, and
Does she know?
She does know.
that would not be nice if she didn't know.
Yes. She agreed to it.
And we will have Erin reach out to her and they can set up a schedule.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, moving right along, we're making record time. There are not any liquor or tobacco licenses tonight. There is a slate of,
Overweight.
Should be 3.
overweight truck.
Emily, do you have the keys to the office?
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve the fleet permits for Cardinal Logistics Management Corporation, David Goddard, and FW Wickham Construction.
Okay. So Mark has made a motion to approve the slate of fleet permits. Is there a second?
Oh, second.
Thanks, Suzanne. Any discussion on the fleet permits? No? Great. Let's vote. All in favor of approving the slate of fleet permits as Mark listed them off, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Nope. Tell them to go slowly through town.
Yeah.
We are gonna back the train up because I'm not nearly as good at this as Charlie is. In accepting this
The town, the
agreement from the town hall committee, what Liz has done is remove all of this language from the town of Montgomery policy on the use of official municipal buildings and facilities. And the reason that she did that was to keep this more succinct, and also if they choose to make changes, it does not have to go through this whole policy as well, just separating out the two things. And
so the town hall will be separate.
yes,
Policy.
a separate policy. And so what we need to do, sorry, I
amend.
should have taken this at the same time, is look this over. All that's been changed here is that this has been removed from this document.
Okay.
So it's not listed in the table of contents.
Is there a reference?
Nor is it in here.
Does it say like refer to town hall policy or anything like that?
This is specifically with regard to the PSB building here, and so it does not reference this.
Okay. Yeah. Is that the only?
Do you think it needs to?
No. Because that's the only public
Yeah,
building
take a peek.
that
Right, so
Yeah.
this was in there before. It was a much bulkier document, but
yeah, totally. Does the rec center have their own policy? They must have their own policy
yeah, I
too,
think so.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure it's fine. I know Liz is very thorough.
What was Aaron's last name?
Kopaz. K
Oh,
O.
Brophy.
Oh, Aaron.
Okay.
ARON.
Oh, just AR.
Yep.
2 A's.
Nope. One.
Really?
Yep.
I
BROPHY.
did not recognize him.
No. So we need a motion for that.
Yep, so we will take a motion to sign off on this amended Town of Montgomery policy on use of municipal buildings and facilities. Is somebody willing to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Second,
I'll second.
seconded by Suzanne. Any discussion about this?
No, it makes sense.
Okay, all in favor of signing and adopting this cleaned up version of our municipal building and facility policy, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, all right.
Okay,
And
so that's an motion to accept the removal
yeah, to remove the language relating to the town hall in lieu of them having their own standalone policy. And so we'll need to sign off on this as well. Thanks, Mark. Okay.
of. Okay, and it's coming away from what? What's it called? That it's coming out of? Let me see.
sorry.
Municipal buildings and
Municipal
facilities.
building.
Yeah.
facilities.
Okay. Are there any other items to be discussed? Okay, so Mark, it sounds like you have a couple of things you're gonna follow up on. You're gonna
Yeah.
follow up on that
On the
generator
generator,
contract and
yeah.
the easement stuff for
Yeah,
Reagan Road?
yep,
And then it sounds like Charlie will be following up on that project list for, road maintenance.
I'm hoping to
and-
get that on the website before the next meeting.
Yep.
So then people can review it before the meeting, so I'll talk to Charlie and see if we can get that on
Yep, and we're gonna
before the
have,
next meeting.
Did, it was mentioned at the last meeting, but I know you weren't here, revisiting the idea of having the grader trainer come to just,
Yeah, they're gonna be signed up.
is it a class they go to or is it something that they come,
I
they
think
come
they go to,
here?
and then they come here too, I
Okay.
think.
it's both.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I do
cool.
have them signed up for that,
Oh, you do?
cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay, and then we will ask Charlie to follow up on the invitation and scheduling of a meeting with our sugar making partners in town. And we will ask Erin to follow up with Beth Crane in order to get her rolling as the new financial controls officer.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No, I have nothing else.
All right.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn made and seconded. All in favor of adjourning our meeting at 7:42 p.m.
Woohoo!
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Excellent. Done.
Okay,
Thank you.
yes, thank you.
Good night, Roberta.